Hello and welcome back, obviously, to the Pokemon draft videos. Hopefully this was a bit bigger last time. I had a comment on the last video saying it was a little bit too small to see, especially on mobile. So hopefully this is a bit bigger and a bit easier to see. I'm facing Caracasa this week. Obviously his team on the right. As you can see, there's an abundance of physical threats. Lopunny Mega, Dragonite. Obviously Dragonite can run mixed, but he's often a physical threat. Cinderace, Crocodile. A lot of physical threats on this team, and I think the team I've chosen to go with represents exactly what I'm scared of on that team. We'll start with my favourite Orbeetle. Pretty simple double dance set. Terra Fairy kind of helps me get through Dragonite. It resists, obviously resist the fighting moves from Lopunny without being... obviously, it doesn't resist the normal type, but very little actually does. Resist both normal and fighting, as well as Scrappy. So, Terra Fairy is just a good all-round defensive Terra this week. It also helps me get past Crocodile. I think that was a big thing when I was building this team. Is actually Crocodile can be a bit of an issue. For Orbeetles, the Terra Fairy lets me get past that. And Cinderace as well doesn't really have too much it can hit Terra Fairy with super effectively. That 252 defense brings me to 350. He can take a plethora of physical hits. Obviously with Carmine and Iron defense as well, we can double dance up. Simple leftovers and Frisk. I don't really see the need for Swarm, obviously, because I've got no bug moves. So Frisk can be pretty useful. Frisk is also very useful in draft anyway, because you don't really know the sets that you're up against very often. So very simple Orbeetle set here. I did consider Webs. Webs was a big consideration. And maybe if I come up against this team again, I would go with Webs. But I was sort of worried about Cinderace with court change. They often run heavy duty boots anyway. Especially as I have the Orbeetle, it could be a little bit telegraphed. But it's obviously useful against the Lopunny. It is useful against the Cinderace. To some extent Regieleki as well, but I suppose it also doesn't affect Dragonite, which is another reason I wasn't that bothered about it. So we're just going with a simple double dance sweep set. Gives me some sort of offensive threat outside of these two in the middle as well, because everything else is relatively defensive, given the nature of the team being so much faster than mine. Second, and it's second on this team because when I looked at the team I was up against, I immediately looked at Hitmontop and went, yep, I need Hitmontop this game. Pretty simple rest Chesto, 3 attacks. Nothing too crazy. Triple Axle's very nice for hitting the Dragonite. Obviously, break the multi-scale with the first hit and then twice more. Considered Technician, just to kill off that, but Intimidate is so useful in this matchup. Obviously, this can switch in to Lopunny relatively well. A couple times, obviously, then I'll have to rest and then I won't have any healing, but that's fine. Earthquake allows me to hit Cinderace, also allows me to hit Regieleki super effectively, which is very nice. And Aurorus, I suppose, but Aurorus also just gets eaten by close combat. You might be wondering about close combat. I considered high jump kick. I really did. But the 90% accuracy just doesn't seem worth it. I'm willing to just take the defense hit and switch out because, frankly, if this misses a high jump kick, I probably just lose the game. And that's not something I'm willing to do. I also considered low kick, but I don't think it hits quite enough on his team. There's too many light threats. Like if Regieleki comes in on a low kick, I've just wasted a turn. You know what I mean? I considered rapid spin as well because I'm bringing Baxcalibur, but I think I'm just going to bring heavy duty boots on Baxcalibur and deal with it that way. I think I need the 3 attacks. Close combat, obviously useful in this matchup, allows it to hit Dudunsparce before Terra. Dudunsparce is actually a really hard Pokemon to prep for. I've not done too much prep for exclusively for Dudunsparce because I just don't know what it's going to do. And it's as simple as that. Like I don't know what Dudunsparce is going to do. There's hundreds of sets it can run. So I've had to just sort of try and be solid and deal with everything else, and just once I find out the Dudunsparce set, I'll aim to counter it from there. I'm kind of thinking Orbeetle might win again, but we will see. Obviously, close combat really useful for Lopunny, for Dudunsparce, for Crocodile, and Aurorus, but I don't think Aurorus is coming this week. Corsola Galar is actually, now I'm looking at a bit of a threat to my team. I think Orbital beats it 1v1 though. Next we are bringing Heavy Duty Boots Baxcalibur, the Dancing Queen, because she's dragon dancing. I might make it female just to... also Driss, your G, nicknamed after a Beyblade, obviously. The Dancing Queen. Dragon Dance to attack with Protect. Protect might be a bit obvious, but just in case, Cinderace, High Jump Kick. I could Protect on it. Allow it to kill itself. Cinderace obviously doesn't want to click Pyro Ball, because it gives me the +1. Icicle Spear over Icicle Crash exclusively for Dragonite. Just breaking that multi-scale. Even though Icicle Crash probably kills, some sort of like weird bulky set could probably survive one. Or even Yachi Berry, something like that. Like, Icicle Spear allows him to sort of get his way through his difficult things, assuming I get more than 2 hits. I might get 3 hits. I considered loaded dice, but he has a Ribombee, which is why I didn't, because Sticky Webs isn't a problem for my team, realistically, but it would be a problem for Bax. And also the weakness to rocks is obviously an issue. Pretty simple 252 speed plus as well. I figured I needed all the speed for Scarf Crook. I'm not outspeeding like Scarf Celebi at +1, but any other set of Celebi at +1 I can. Still doesn't get past Regieleki, but it's basically for Scarf Crook. That basically covers it. And +1 Dragonite, actually. I think that was the other thing I was considering, was +1 Dragonite. Pretty simple. I'm really happy with this Protect Tech for the High Jump Kick. Although I do wonder if High Jump Kick is going to be a bad idea with Ceruledge on the team. He could consider... I considered Flash Fire Ceruledge, because it obviously resists... It obviously can't be High Jump Kicked and resist, completely ignores Pyro Ball. But Cinderace just U-turns out, and then I just lose all momentum. So this is obviously a big threat. I think he struggles to deal with this. I can also... The Protect is also really useful for Fake Out. So obviously one way he can deal with this if it gets to +1 is to go to Lopunny, Fake Out, Sakamon, Fake Out, and just do that. Protect allows me to just completely ignore Fake Out entirely. And then that's just really useful. So we're going with Weak Armor Power Hub Ceruledge. I'm not sure if this set will work, if I'm being completely honest. But the idea is I can maybe eat like a Fake Out, or I can switch in on... There was another move I thought I could switch in on that would give me the +2 speed. Swords Dance obviously there to help me muscle through some of the bigger threats. And then Power Hub Solar Blade at +2 kills Vaporeon, which is really nice. This is kind of gimmicky, but Ceruledge is a Pokemon that is just gimmicks. And I considered the Flash Fire set, but I really like the idea of Weak Armor, because my team is quite slow, but at +2, this thing outspeeds everything on its team. And it only needs 1 Bitter Blade to get back to full health. Dragon Claw, obviously in there for Dragonite. I'm assuming I won't need this. I have switch-ins to Dragonite. I have ways to deal with Dragonite. But if I get to +2 and I need to hit it, Dragon Claw's there. Obviously, he can't extreme speed me, so I needed something to hit it. No fighting move. Didn't feel it was necessary. I think Bitter Blade hit most of his team pretty hard. There's only Dragonite who resists, who obviously hit by Dragon Claw, and Vaporeon, who is killed by Solar Blade. Everything else isn't really getting past this, and I think Corsola Galar probably isn't switching into this thinking, because until he knows my full moves, he might think there's a ghost move there. Kind of a gimmicky set, but I'm not confident it's going to work, but there's, if I play properly, this could really do some damage. Moving on to Weezing Galar. Pretty simple again, just 252. Physically bulky. Incredibly useful in this matchup. He has to dedicate probably 2 moves on his team to dealing with this, or at least sort of... The there's a world he brings some sort of like Specs Hurricane Dragonite set, for example, just to try and get past this, because it's such an issue for Lopunny. And to be honest, Cinderace doesn't really appreciate this either. Crocodile doesn't really appreciate this Pokemon being alive. He has to find some sort of lure for Weezing. And we've just gone simple 2 stabs because, again, I don't need anything other than these 2 stabs. They hit everything at least neutrally. Yeah, I mean, these 2 stabs are pretty unresisted through his team. Toxic Spikes is there because he has a lot of grounded Pokemon. Obviously, I have to be careful clicking it if Cinderace is still alive for the court change. But I have a grounded Poison, and it's only really... I guess Serral Edge, Hitmontop, and Orbeez are affected. Baxcalibur has the heavy duty boots, and the other 2 are poison. One of them's got Levitate. Levitate, obvious reasons. So many earthquakes. Like Crocodile, with Levitate, I don't think Crocodile can ever get past this, which is really nice. Pain Split to give me some sort of recovery. Rocky Helmet, again, I think it's quite obvious for the Lopunny. Most of the Lopunny's moves are contact. A high chance that gets knocked off by Crocodile anyway, but it's there. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. When you look at my opponent's team, I think Weezing has to come, and I think we both know that he has to find a solution for this set where I can just sort of say, this is my Weezing, what can you do about it? I think he'll bring a special variant of Dragonite, and I will probably have to scout for that. I don't have many special switch-ins because his team is so physical-based, but I just don't think a special version of Dragonite is going to sweep me, and I think I've got enough answers to the physical Pokemon on his team. Again, he can't lock into a Dragon move or anything because it's a fairy, so it would have to be some sort of like Specs Hurricane, some sort of weird moveset like that. On to the final Pokemon, bringing Grafaiai for the first time. Named after Ii, the monkey from Super Monkey Ball. Also happens to be the last 4 letters of his name, which I'm now realising. I don't really know what to do with this Pokemon. I drafted it as a sort of answer to these sort of fast teams, so I figured I had to bring it here. But then I looked at its move pool, and I was a little underwhelmed. But I think his team is pretty momentum heavy. Through Regieleki, through Lopunny, through Cinderace, there's a lot of momentum builders. This guy just completely kills opposition momentum. He can come in, he can encore on a setup move with Prankster. Obviously, you have to be careful with Crocodile where it doesn't affect him, but everything else it does. Spread Toxic through the team. Again, very useful for stuff like Dudunsparce, for the Dragonite, for Celebi, for Vaporeon. Like these Pokemon, none of them like being poisoned. And Prankster 100% accurate Toxic, very, very useful. No Steel type as well on his team, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So this thing can just spread Toxics for fun. Super Fang is there as a sort of 50% health on something that's switching. Like a Toxic and a Super Fang just completely cripples like a Vaporeon. It completely cripples Celebi. It completely cripples... I mean, even like Dragonite. Like Super Fang is just the best move I could find, where I wanted to run a bulky set because I want to be able to take the occasional hit if I need to. Whether that's like a Lopunny return or if it's some sort of like a move from Dragonite if it's a physical Dragonite. Like I wanted some bulk. I obviously don't need the speed. So Super Fang allows me to still hit things for 50%. I don't know how useful this is going to be, but I really like Prankster Toxic in this matchup, and Prankster Parting Shot as well, because it can completely kill any momentum Caracaster tries to build, in theory. Obviously, I have to be careful with Parting Shotting out on, say, Cinderace, and then he U-turns and he gets all that momentum back. But I think this is a good week to bring Grafaiai and see what it can actually do. Obviously, the Pokemon that miss out for me this week, 2 big hitters. Celesteela. I, again, considered Celesteela for Lopunny, but I think it's too obvious to bring Celesteela here, and I think he I think it always gives Cinderace a free switch in. Or not necessarily free switch in, but it always gives Cinderace a free turn. And he has the Regieleki. I don't want to bring electric weaknesses, because if he does bring Regieleki, it becomes a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, I wasn't particularly keen on Celesteela in this matchup. I think it's not quite bulky enough to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted to bring Hitmontop, and I really wanted to bring Weezing. So it would have had to have been some sort of... I considered Autotomize over Celesteela. Autotomize Celesteela over Ceruledge, sorry. But I just like Ceruledge's ability to lure in and kill the Vaporeon with Solar Blade, which should make it a little bit easier for Baxcalibur in the late game. And obviously Manaphy misses out as well. Manaphy, a little bit slow. One way I could have used Manaphy this game would have been dual screens or Beetle, and just set up with Manaphy behind the screens. But I didn't decide to go that way. I haven't bought screens yet. I'm a little bit wary about bringing screens in draft anyway. But there will be a time where I want to use screens. I don't think it's this game. I think I decided I would try and counter what he did first, and then sort of catch him off in the late game. So no Manaphy. I can say, if I was bringing other webs or screens, Manaphy would definitely come, but I didn't. Espathra as well. I think, again, something he can easily plan for. Like, it doesn't quite hit hard enough to get through Dragonite. Crocodile can sort of come in on it as well. Sort of like some sort of like Assault Vest Crocodile completely ruins it. I think Celebi can easily beat it. It just seemed a bit too weak in this matchup. The speed would have been very useful, but again, I went for a more defensive build with a... I have 4 Pokemon with 252 plus defense on this team. Like that's the way I'm going to win this game, is just try and grind through it with attrition, maybe win with Toxic from Grafaiai, and win like that. Heavy Duty Boots on the Grafaiai, I'm just realising now, if I do Toxic Spikes and he spins the back on my side, I think I don't absorb them in that case, but I probably won't end up using Toxic Spikes. It's one of those that's there if I don't see Cinderace, for example, I know I can get my Toxic Spikes up. Obviously, not bringing Toedscruel, I think that's pretty obvious. Too many physical threats. It's too frail on that side. And not bringing Dusclops, something I heavily considered, but Crocodile comes in and knocks off for free every time. I don't like that. I don't really know what Dudunsparce does. Dusclops might have been useful to stop that, but I'm just kind of hoping Grafaiai can help me with the Dudunsparce matchup. Get it poisoned, get it super fanged, like switch out on it with Parting Shot. Like I'm hoping I have enough tricks in the bag to deal with that. As I say, Dusclops might have been useful, but it's just a bit too passive, and I give up too much momentum by having Dusclops over Grafaiai. So that was my thinking. Let's get into the game. Okay, so we have the challenge through. Let's take a look at what we're up against. Obviously, the Dudunsparce is here. Cinderace, Crocodile, Lopunny, Dragonite. The big four, all here. Pretty much everything I prepped for quite heavily. Ribombi's a little bit strange. I'm expecting that's probably webs. I don't really have a plan to stop webs going up, but I think I might be better off just leading Ceruledge, honestly, and just hitting it with a Bitter Blade. Assuming this is a webs Ribombi. I mean, this screams webs, this team. So I think I'm just going to lead Ceruledge, assuming it's Ribombi, and it's going to be webs. He could lead with Lopunny. If you can't see the chat, but my opponent has just messaged, where the fuck is Celesteela at? If you watch the first part of this video, you'll see my thinking that he would over-prep for Celesteela, and I thought it was too obvious. So that's actually worked quite well. I'm going to tell him Celesteela is resting. It's been a tough week for him. Yeah, I mean, week one, obviously I didn't upload that battle to the channel, but I did bring Celestia where my opponent thought it was too obvious. Okay, well, he has led Crocodile. I'm realizing now I'm zoomed in too far and you actually can't see my moves, so let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. He has just led Crocodile, so I'm expecting a knockoff. I mean, I could, if I'm feeling saucy, I could click Solar Blade. Think that might just be a bad play. Wheezing Galar might be too obvious. I kind of want to keep it full health. I might just go to hit him on top instead. Yeah, let's do that. I think I prefer hit him on top here. Yeah, he goes with a knockoff. I mean, he knocks off the Chester Berry, which gives away that I'm rest. I really wanted to click Triple Axle here. He has no switch-ins to close combat Triple Axle. I'm assuming Dragonite's coming in here. It's either Dragonite or Rabombi. If it is Rabombi, it will break the sash. I'm going to click Triple Axle. Okay, he does go Rabombi. We get a big chunk on that. That's nice. This is probably a Moonblast coming out. Kind of want to go hard Grafii. Resist both of his stabs. I mean, this might just be webs. And then I can Encore. Trick. Interesting. I mean, I don't mind that. I'll happily take the Iron Ball. That's fine by me. I'm going to Encore. He probably switches here, but Encore is just fine. Because if he does stay in, I get my item back. And he's stuck with the Iron Ball again. Cool set, though. I really like that set. Trick Iron Ball. I mean, there was no way I was ever seeing that coming. I presume that was for Celesteela. Celesteela's quite an obvious switch into Rabombi, so that would make sense. You have to excuse me. I've just eaten. Do I definitely want to Encore here? I think I should. I think I should Encore. If he does go something else, I can still Parting Shot out. I can still Toxic if it's a Dragonite. Dunsparce is the thing that scares me. I should probably have up somewhere. Ooh, so I could actually look at what it does. So it is, as I figured, yeah. I mean, I just want to make sure I know sort of his stats and the sort of ideas of moves he can bring. Like that. I mean, but he can run anything on it. So it is a concern. Okay, he goes Crook. I'm presuming Parting Shot on Crocodile is... I presume I still switch out. I think it just doesn't give him the defense drop. I'm going to play it safe and just go hard, hit him on top. I want to go Wheezing on what is an obvious Earthquake. But my problem is that if he does knock off, I lose the Rocky Helmet. I don't really like that. And I don't want to use Toxic Spikes because he has the Cinderace. So I don't want to set those up now. Although I have lost my Heavy Duty Boot, so I can always absorb the Toxic Spikes back on my side. Maybe it's fine. Maybe we go Wheezing. I think he'll probably just knock off again. Iron Ball Trick, man. I never saw that coming. Okay, he Gunk Shots. 26% is not ideal. Gunk Shot is rogue technology. I mean, I guess it's his best move against Weezing. Do I set up? I think I set up a T-Spike, honestly. He can obviously Court Change, but I can absorb it back if he does. And he has to use Court Change to do it. It wastes a turn of his. And he didn't really have turns to waste with Cinderace. And it's not like Cinderace is coming in hard on this either. If I'm him... Okay, never mind, I guess. He does go hard Cinderace. Does this run? Does this get Iron Head? I don't think so. I think... Oh, he does get Iron Head. Okay, well, this is probably an Iron Head coming out then. Little worrying. Let's just go hard, hit him on top, expecting Iron Head. Okay, it was just Pyro Ball. Interesting. I'm a little baffled, I'll be honest. Again, I could click Triple Axel, expect either a Bombi or Dragonite. I could just click Close Combat. Close Combat doesn't seem good because Rabombi just comes in and gets a free turn again. I could double, expecting this to... I mean, it could U-turn, and I could maybe go Cerulege on the U-turn. Cerulege on the U-turn is kind of shifty. But I think Dragonite comes in and just... I have to use Dragon Claw, which is not ideal. So we'll save that play for later. I might go hard Wheezing on the U-turn and get some chip. Okay, he Pyro Balls again. And I'll just click Pain Split. That's fine. Yeah, there's the chip damage I was looking for, 16%. It's nothing to be scoffed at. It can come in handy later on. It does reveal the Rocky Helmet. I don't know what his switch into this is. I think it might be the Dunsparce, and in that case, this Pain Split is about to be very, very tasty. I'm trying to figure out how much HP I have without... Oh, there we go. 154. The Dunsparce is like base 115 we looked up earlier, so... At 125 even, so this is a big heal if it is. Yeah, nice. And it gets poisoned. This is huge. Huge. Look at that. Look at that heal, man. That is lovely. It also reveals he's leftovers, so the poison's less effective, obviously. I mean, this can run Boom Burst. It could just be like this could just be a big Boom Burst coming in. I really want to go hard Cerulege. What else does it run? I mean, it can run Iron Head, right? Or Gyro Ball. This thing is scary. It's so scary, man. I don't know what it's going to do. If it's Boom Burst, do I go Orb? Like, it's leftovers, so it's not Specs. I'm going to go Orb. Okay. That's fine. That's really fine. I want an Iron Defense. Just Raw. Because I don't know the Dragonite set, but this is physical, this is physical, this is physical. This is some sort of weird trick utility set. I don't know what this is doing. The Dunsparce is Glare, which, I mean, this Pokemon has so many moves you just can't prep for it. That's just the way it is. Do I Terra is the question. I don't think I want to give away my Terra really quickly. This early, sorry. But I'm also worried. I think it's fine. I think it's just an Iron Defense. He is faster than me, but he just go hard with Bombi. Given this came in, I think this might be... I'm presuming this thing gets Encore. I think this might be some sort of Encore set. It gets all sorts of tricks, right? Okay, it doesn't get Encore. I might just Calm Mind. I should Terra in case of, like, Bug Buzz or something. Moonblast, fine. How much is Stored Power doing? I mean, Stored Power is a kill right now. I'm just clicking it. I think he has to sack something to this. Yeah. Okay. This actually survives. That's bulky. I'm clicking Stored Power again. This thing's hard for him to revenge. He got the special attack drop with Moonblast, which is actually quite unfortunate. That's why it didn't kill. I didn't really clock that. Lowered its power to 80 and obviously lowered my special attack, and it's coming off a measly 196. So the good news is, outside of Dragonite, Body Press kind of owns him. He can go Dunsparce and Terra if it's like Terra. What Terra would you run against my team? He was expecting Celesteela, so I'm thinking like, okay, I'm assuming I'm about to get Pterodon, but I'd like to force it and find out what it is. Okay, he just clicks Boomburst and dies to Body Press. That's really nice. That's huge, actually, because the Dunsparce is the big question mark on this team. That's the one thing I'm really shit scared of. And I mean, dude, how bulky is Orbeetle? I'm uninvested on the special. I know I'm +1, but that's a stab boom burst, and it's done 33%. This Pokemon is... It's fucking crazy, dude. That's why he's my favourite orb. There's another 2 kills for Orbeetle as well. He's making an assault on the on the Pokemon of the week. I kind of want to go hard Grafaiai in case this is Dragon Dance, but then he can Extreme Speed. I can encore that. Yeah, I'm going hard at II. I don't think he clicks Earthquake here. Fire Punch. Yeah, that's fine. I might just Toxic. I think Toxic is better than Encore. Let him Earthquake me. Honestly. Like, I have an answer to Lopunny. This is still alive. I have answers to Cinderace. I have answers to Crocodile. I want to Toxic this. This is the second big threat, I think. And if he switches to any of these, I don't mind Toxic any of these. Let's not give... Oh, yeah, I guess Crook, and I've got the Spike up. So that was, yeah, a bit silly in the end. I think this is probably choiced, and I think it might be time to sack Orbeetle to find out what move he's clicking. Okay, it's leftovers. I mean, that's even better to know that. We just click Body Press and assume I'm going to die. Yeah, that's fine. We find out his full set. Earthquake, Knockoff, Gunk Shot. He can't really touch Weezing, but he can knock it off. He also doesn't really do much to this, and I get a free triple Axle off. Knockoff, Gunk Shot, Earthquake. I mean, I'd probably get +1. He knocks off my Heavy Duty Boots, and then what? Let's do this. Let's Dragon Dance. He knocks off my Heavy Duty Boots, but then I'm a +1 Baxcalibur with Protect. It's really hard for him to revenge this. Yeah, fine. Take it. Glaive Rush and Protect is really nice. I'm going to Glaive Rush, actually. I'm assuming this comes in and Fake Out. I Protect. And then I outspeed it. Okay, it's Dragonite, even better. Then I'm... Let's Protect on the Extreme Speed. He could DD, but I'm still faster than him. Okay, Icicle Spear now. This is why we bought Icicle Spear for Dragonite, for the multi-scale. And obviously Protect Glaive Rush is just a really nice combo. He's looking at his screen like, oh, why is this thing just click Protect on me? And then he looks back at his Lopunny and thinks, oh, shit. I get it. I see the vision. There's the Extreme Speed. I think this is a kill. I mean, yeah. The 47% through the multi-scale is crazy, by the way. Well, that's Heavy Duty Boots, so I am faster than it. It gets Sucker, right? It does get Sucker Punch. But also, if this dies, that's fine. I'm clicking Protect. Okay, he U-turned. I'm clicking Glaive Rush, I don't care. Yeah, there's Sucker, but I survive anyway. Lopunny comes in, we Protect on the Fake Out. This Protect, I was really happy when I thought of this, and I'm glad it's worked out as intended. That was really clean. Yeah, I'm up to 4-0. I think that was my cleanest game, actually. I think I just had a really good matchup into his team, to be honest with you. When I look at his team, Weezing Galar is so good into every one of his Pokemon, and I think Hitmontop as well. Like, I just have a really good matchup into this team. I was a lot more confident with this than the Week 2 game. Yeah, I think I prepped really well for this game. So, really happy with how that went. Thank you, and see you all in the future.